Yeah, so I'm back. We're going to, in this lesson, we're going to start out by doing a checkout, just like we did the other lessons. So do a git checkout version 019 this time to get to my code. And we're going to try and build a new route. So a new route is a way for us to write slash, and then we're going to do something like cause or whatever. No, I think we will call it weeks, something like that. So we can have a slash weeks to show all the weeks available for a single syllabus. So we're going to go and figure out how to make a new route. And I'm going to go into Angular-fullstack to figure out how to do this. And we'll just find the generator here, and I actually hit endpoint here, and if I scroll down a bit, there's one called route. So we're going to make a new route calling this command right here. Now what's a route? Well, that just means I'm going to make a new area in the front end so that we can also contact slash weeks in our case. So I'm going to call this week. So that's just a way for me to define a list of all the weeks in a syllabus, something like that. So I'll press enter, and it's going to generate this route for me, and it's pretty much just a list of different files it's creating for me behind the scenes. Nothing more than that, and I'll show you what files you'll get from this. But we're going to call it, where do you want to save the route? Well, I want this code to be saved like we have admin, we have syllabus. Now we're going to get a new one called week that's going to contain a list of files. I'm just going to keep it in client app, and I'm going to call it week for this time, just to show you a very basic way to do this. Then we're getting a JS file that's where the slash will be involved. We're going to get the controller and then the HTML, some CSS, and then some kind of a file for testing. So it should be here now, the week one. And the reason it's green is that I haven't added this to my code yet. But let's see what's in here. There's actually just a very basic view. We have a controller here, and we have the JS file. That's actually so that we can say slash week in here, okay? But we want a bit more in here, so I'm going to add that in a second. And that's it for now. What I want us to do is I want us to be able to, so let's just make so that we're ready to actually click a single list item and then be sent to this week. So I have one called go to syllabus under ng click here, and I'm going to make this function now. We need to remember, any function you do, you need to have that inside your controller. So I'm going to make a new function here, and it's going to be called go to syllabus. It's going to be equal a function who's going to get a syllabus with it. And in here, I'm actually just going to, using UI router, let me just add some code here. So the deal is, when we are using a UI router setup that we're using right here in our code, we're going to need something called state. Now state is a way for us to figure out when we click something, where do we want to go? We want to go to another area in our application. Okay, so in this case we want to move to week. Now where do I find the week? If we go under week.js here in the new file, it says if you hit the state week, go to slash week, and then use this week HTML file and the week controller. Now the week HTML file is right here, and the week controller is right here, week controller. So that's how we bind these guys together if I do the state week. Now to switch the state, I have to add the state here, and I have to say state go week. Okay, it's that simple. Now it has to be the same name that we have down here. Okay, that's state right there. So when I click go to syllabus now, it's actually going to go to the state. I want one more thing, because I want the syllabus ID to be sent in here. So I'm going to add a slash here, and a colon with the ID of where I'm actually going. Let's just keep it at this for now and try to run this and see if it actually works. So what should happen now is that when I click the guy right here, I should change state to slash week and then the name of the week. Okay, if I go back, you'll see it's another syllabus ID I get up there. Click, and now it says 04 in the end. I'll go back and I'll click again, and it says to be in the end. So what this means is now we've actually made communication between this route called main, and when I click a thing, I switch to a new route, which is the weak setup that we just built. We'll make more of this later. See you next time.